Okay. Well, let me. It might have worked. Let me. Uh, nope, didn't work. God, this is so dumb. So, I'm trying to. Fuck it. I'll just have to do it this way. I can't. I can't. So when I rotate my phone and it goes widescreen, it it turns the video sideways on YouTube. Both. I tried it both ways. Yep. Well, um, I'm gonna have to. No, it's that is the way it works. Apparently, there's a everything online's like, why is my video rotated? And it's like, here's why all your live streams are rotated. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it this way. That's fine. Let me delete. I have two streams open now. That doesn't make sense. Shit. Fucking piece of shit. Yeah, it's doing that for me too. I can't watch myself. God damn it. So fucking bad. That is so fucking stupid. Why won't it let me record? Fuck. No, I didn't. It's not a good start. Alright, I'm gonna post the link, and I'm just gonna have to do it this way. Fuck it. Yeah, I posted the link. Yeah. Where the fuck is my... Hold on. Wow, this is so hard to navigate. God damn it. Where is my... I had everything set up, I swear. This is not going well. How does that video not exist? I know it exists. Well, took me a while, but I'm ready. I'm gonna drop mic, drop comms, and get started. No.
Deep in the furnace of a dying star, eons of fusion have created iron. And as the nuclear furnace is cooled, sudden and violent explosion spread the iron across the cosmos. Over the next few billion years, these heavier elements accreted into this place that we call the Earth. Time passes. Humans discover this iron deep in the Earth. They discover its mystical properties. They discover ways of forging this iron. Creates
Swimmingly.
mankind's greatest inventions, the truck stop knife. This is where the story of iron ends, and my story begins. This is JJJinks Truck Stop Knives.
JJJinks. Say it with me. Truck stop live. Why is it echoing?
Truck Stop Live.
Why is it echoing? Whatever. All right. I'm having some YouTube problems today. Welcome to my live show. And today, I have a small unboxing. And I intended to have a bigger unboxing with, a Bud K box of shit. But I had some shipping problems, so that's not happening. And so I decided to come up with something else. I'm going to do pairings. Kind of like how red wine goes with steak, or xenophobia goes with MAGA hats. I'm going to tell you the way that a knife pairs with a fragrance. And to do that, I've got a whole collection of fragrances and a whole collection of knives. I'm going to put them together. And we'll see how it goes. So I'll start off with a Spyderco knife. This is the PM2, which stands for the Paramilitary 2. These are pretty much the most popular knife Spyderco makes. And this model happens to have what's called an axis lock, where it works kind of like a back lock, but that the latch is in the rear of the knife, and you got to move this little tab over, and then the blade releases. And it's very smooth operating. It's got the classic Spyderco blade look to it, the hole and all that. Very, very popular knife, and it's very solid. So what do you wear when you have this in your pocket? I chose for this one Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gio. This fragrance is kind of on the spicy side, with hints of lavender, I think. This is pretty much a go-to fragrance if you're going out to a bar and meeting up with some girls. I got another fragrance for meeting up with guys that I'll show you momentarily. So, yeah, Armani's Acqua di Gio. It's pretty solid. Next knife, I bought this a while ago, and it was on a trip that I made. This is the Kershaw Leek. It might have made an appearance once before, I don't remember. This is a knife that is very sleek and sexy, I think. And it opens really fast. I think I reviewed this before because I said it almost has a flat Warncliffe style blade, but not quite. It is sharp as a razor, and I really love it. So for something that's sleek and sexy, Kershaw it's a Ken Onion design. This knife is made in the USA. How about that? Now, these fragrances are made in France. So something sexy to go with it is Yves Saint Laurent La Nuit de l'Homme. This is the fragrance where if you're with a girl, you can spray it on her pillow and she'll call you back the next morning. Oh, it just went right into my eye. Oh, God, that burns. It smells great, though. It's sweet. It's floral. It's got virtually no low notes, and yet it lasts a long time. and it's one of my favorites. I wear it constantly. Next up, we've got what's called the slow burn lady leg knife. This is a style of knife that is actually kind of sexist, and it's ugly, and on the blade it actually says slow burn, and it's trashy. It's not good. So I picked a fragrance that's equally trashy and not good. This is Joop. I bought this because, one, it was actually kind of cheap. I picked it up at a Target for like $18, and I've seen it elsewhere for like upwards of 40 or 50. I don't get the appeal. I guess this is like a club. It's big in the club scene. But to me, it smells like urinal cakes. And I smell those all the time because of all the truck stops I go to. So that's good to go with your lady leg. Next pairing, I will do a knife that I've had for a while, absolutely one of my favorites, and I've never really talked about it or brought it on. This is the Spyderco Delica fiberglass reinforced nylon handle, classic saber grind with the Spidey hole. This knife is also one of their most popular models, and if I may quote the great Nick Shabazz, it doesn't have everything that I want, but it has everything that I need. And that sounded like the description to the classic Seek K1 by Calvin Klein. I only got this little nipper here. This fragrance has been around for a very, very long time, and it's easily, basically the same description. Doesn't really have everything you need, or want, but has everything you need. It's got kind of a pine smell to it. So it's like citrusy and pine, kind of like if you get a Christmas tree and an orange was in it or something. Next, I'm gonna go even more classic. The Buck 110 Hunter, which pretty much every knife enthusiast in the world will instantly recognize this knife. It's generally recognized as the one that started it all in terms of the backlock big folder being called a Buck knife. So Buck is a brand. They make all kinds of knives, but it's also sort of a type of knife that people talk about. And it's got a big blade. It's sharp as hell. Even the swedge, which is that sort of angling that they do on the back of the knife, is actually kind of sharp. And it's kind of manly. You can get these in like red wood with silver bolsters. I kind of like the dark wood with the brass ones myself. And there's a shorter version called the 112 Ranger that's also very popular. So for that knife, I figured I would pick something that's also kind of burly and manly and classic. I think that is my Buck knife. So, like, you have one? That wouldn't surprise me. So, for that knife, I chose Kuba. This is a spice that, a whole line of a whole line of fragrances that are put out by this company, Kuba. And the fun thing about it is that their fragrances come in bottles that are shaped like giant cigars. And it's cheap as hell. I got this bottle for $10. And you can probably find it cheaper if you look around. And yeah, it does. It looks like a Paisan magazine. What I like about this fragrance, besides the fact that you get a crap ton of it for $10, is that it sort of has a tobacco leather kind of smell to it, and it's not unpleasant at all for a cheap fragrance. So I thought that smelled well with the Buck knife. All right. Next knife, moving along. You know it. You love it. It is the cultural appropriation Indian knife. It's got the chief's head up there at the hilt. I'm reading my textbook. If you spray the fragrance on your wife's pillow, she will let you game all day. I know someone who needs that. I'm not going to talk too much about this knife because I've already brought it out tons of times, but going on that theme of cultural appropriation, pretty much every major fragrance is made in France. It's made there, it's bottled there, etc., as far as I know. And Versace has put out this fragrance, which is called Eros, and it's a Greek, kind of a Greece themed sort of deal. So that's France appropriating the Greek culture. Now this happens to be my very favorite fragrance. I've been using it for years. It's fresh. It's a little bit spicy, but a little bit floral. Notice a lot of the fragrances I like don't have very many low notes. It's a very unique blend. I love this fragrance immensely. Next, here's a knife that I've been wanting to show for a long time. It's really neat. This is made by CRKT, which stands for Columbia River Knife and Tool. I've got a few of their knives. They're pretty good. And this one's kind of odd looking, so I'm going to give you a moment to take it all in. It's called the Fossil. And see, they sort of bang it up and try to make it look old. There's like micarta that's alternating brown and black, and that gives you this neat wavy pattern when you sort of cut these little gouges into it. Now, this knife is the only one that I own that rides on bearings. So when I open it, it looks snappy and fast, but it's not open assisted. Those bearings are just so smooth that it looks like it's assisted. And the blade kind of looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex or maybe a pterodactyl. And interestingly, the clip is actually held up on these posts, which is not something I've seen before. I paid $30 for it at a Walmart that was like selling off everything. They were getting rid of their guns, they were getting rid of their knives. I happened to drive through. This was somewhere in Ohio. So that was a very nice purchase. And the fragrance that I chose to go with it is called Primitive Man. Very fitting, I think. This is not an expensive designer fragrance. This is actually one that you can find at a Walmart for like $10. And it's not too bad. It's spicy and also got low notes. It's got a little bit of cardamom and a hint of patchouli. Not too much, just enough to give you that kind of patchouli-like edge. And it's very reminiscent of Calvin Klein's Obsession, if you know that one. Okay. Next up, I've got a real winner here. The Dragon's Fury. This knife keeps popping up because it's just so damn good. It's the 5-bladed monstrosity that I like to call it. It's got a pocket clip. I've used this a couple of times. You know it. It's a real winner. And a real winner deserves a real trophy. This is Paco Rabanne Invictus. Now, this fragrance is really great for like maybe after the gym or something like that. It's a very fresh, sweet smell that it's pleasant. I really like it, and this is probably the most expensive one I have. It was like $140 for this bottle. And a little bit fruity, like can be. So, the next one I wanted to show. Oh yeah, this is a good one. This knife, also very, very expensive knife, is made by a company called Microtech. And it's got a brushed brass finish to it with these black parts that kind of feel like roof tiles. And you got a little picture of a scarab on the clip there. Now this knife technically illegal for me to have. It is an OTF double action. The blade shoots right out of it and right back, and you can goes as fast as you can do it. It's fun as hell, and it's exotic. So I guess to go with the fun and exotic theme, I chose Tommy Bahama Martinique. So this is a tropical themed fragrance. You got the little palm tree there. And if I give it a whiff, I'm gonna smell like shit later. You know what? I can't smell anymore. But it's sort of like a faint hint of melon and other citrus flavors and a little bit of spiciness. So it's something that you could go and sit at like a tiki bar and just kind of chill out all day and intimidate people with your Microtech scarab knife. Okay, now at this point, I'm probably about halfway through, but I'm going to put a stop to this fragrance review. If you really liked it, I'll do some more. I just don't want to chew up a lot of time. So you may have noticed that I'm wearing something around my neck. This is a neck knife, which is a thing from Bud K. I got this for $2 and change, and it's got this sort of cutout look with some speed bullet lines in it. I don't know. You can tell this knife's very cheap because they only actually ground it on one side, and the best feature, I think, is that there's a whistle in the sheath. Not a very great one, but it's a feature. I'm going to use this knife to open a box. Where did I get this box? Well, something I've been kind of quiet about on my channel is that I've been collaborating, sort of. I've been supporting another channel. A guy, I'm going to put the link below. His name's Tristan Barnett, and he makes knives. He's a custom knife maker. But what I really like about his work is that he makes knives out of anything. He made a knife out of an old golf club. He made a whole bunch of knives out of an old bed frame. He just cut up pieces of the bed frame, and he's got videos where he shows, he goes to his tools, and it's really primitive stuff. It's like a sand belt grinder and a angle grinder, and he makes these beautiful creations right in front of your eyes. So sparks really fly too. Like, he looks like he's about to catch on fire. And so I was watching his videos and I realized, it's a real shame that he doesn't have great equipment, because I'm imagining he can really do a lot if he had better stuff. So I sent him an angle, basically a belt grinder with a special attachment where you can achieve 20 or 30 degree angles on your cuts to get a real nice edge on the blade. And in exchange, he made me a knife. And he filmed himself doing it, and he mailed it to me, and I have it with me right here. So check out his videos, like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that crap. I'm very excited about this. It came in a few days ago, and I've just been staring at the box until now. I have to hold my freaking camera with one hand, and it's annoying because for some reason YouTube doesn't let you do live broadcasts in widescreen. So, oh, here we go. Kinda. That might work. Okay. You guys ready for this? This knife was made out of a bed frame, which is something that makes me really happy because I always moaned it. I was like, man, you made that knife out of a bed frame. That's awesome. Oh, I got an envelope. Let's open the envelope first, shall we? Da-da-da-da. And in the envelope is a letter. Dear JJJinks, I hope you love the knife. I made it from a bed frame. The blade is made out of a bed frame. Yeah, said that. The guard, or the hilt, is made out of aluminum, and pins of the handle are made of brass. And of course, the handle is full tang with a wood handle. I love the work sharp. Thank you for buying it for me. That was the piece of equipment, which is named after the same guy who designed knives everywhere. The how could I have just lost the knife? He designed, here it is, the Kershaw Leek. His name's Ken Onion. And so that sharpening tool is named after him. Love your videos. Keep it up. Thanks again for helping another YouTuber out. P.S. I think your beard and mustache are sexy. They turn me on. I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. Okay. Here's a knife. Almost. Wrapped up in duct tape, like I like my women. I'll let you see it first. Oh my god, it came with a sheath wrapped in... Let's just take a moment to take this in. This is fantastic. So, this leather is... Did he say what the sheath was made out of? It's got a belt loop. This looks like kite string. Shall we? Oh, yeah. Oh, look at this thing. This is so fucking cool. And it's sharp. I know I don't usually cut paper with things, but okay, that wasn't very good, but that's an envelope. That doesn't count. It's got initials? Are you seeing that? TB, or is it BT? That must have been when it was on the bed frame. Maybe it's the panel or something. Well, what we're looking at is obviously a very long-bladed knife, and there's even a swedge cut into it. That's this part up here that kind of dips down, and it's cut at a bit of an angle. And yeah, it's a full tang knife and wood handle with the brass pins. You know, all this. This is really great. I am gonna treasure this forever. Thank you very much, Tristan Barnett. I gotta say, when we were watching the videos, I was watching them with some of my buddies, and at first they were kind of laughing like, oh, it's a hunk of bed frame and chunk of aluminum, what's going on? And after a while, it's like, it kind of looks like a knife. It's taking the form, yeah, and after a while, I was impressed. I certainly don't have the know-how to do this. Now, I know what a lot of people might be thinking out there. It's bed frame steel. This is not gonna hold an edge. It's not the kind of steel that people make knife blades out of. But that's okay, because I buy stuff like this, and I'm okay with that. And real quick, I'd like to check out some of his other creations. Come on. All right, we're gonna hop over to look at some photos that he sent me. I'm not exactly sure what this is. I think it could be a part of a golf club where the handle material was cut off, and he might have told me what he's planning on doing with this, but right now it just kind of looks like a spike. This knife I thought looked really cool. It's made out of an old file, and it's been sharpened up. And if you look at the handle, that looks like it might be from a tennis racket. Like I said, this guy, he just uses whatever's around him. He also made this out of a wrench. You can see up at the top, there's that part of the wrench with the round thing. Obviously, I don't know my way around tools. It's wrapped in some kind of cord. It looks like the same kind of cord that the sheath is sewn in with. And it looks like a brass hilt. Yeah, this guy would do really well in prison. He'd manufacture all kinds of shit. And then, and then there's this knife. When I saw this cleaver, I immediately thought of like the movie Braveheart. This looks like something that a mad Scotsman would use to just murder the hell out of Englishmen. And one of my buddies saw this and he was like, I think that's the weapon that old man got his hand cut off with. And then the knife, which has a very aggressive sawback, and I don't know what it's made out of, probably bed frame. And well, it's pretty much what you see: black handle with a pommel. That's what this thing is, right? A pommel. I don't know what that is. It's like a little. It kind of reminds me of the top to like a salt shaker or something. Another shot of the wrench knife with its sheet underneath. I like this because you can still see like the lettering and stuff on the finished product. And then this one's a spear point knife or a dagger. And it also looks like it's made from a wrench. Here's another shot of the murder cleaver. Here's another, I think, bed frame knife with kind of the same deal he made for me. Brass pins, stained wood handle. And this appears to be semen over here. Don't know the story behind these, but they look unfinished. One of them's obviously a machete-style knife. The other one looks like a massive spear point that would be like at the end of a pike, maybe. Obviously, this was not originally cast in this form. These look like they were part of something else that he cut them out of. So, again, more improvisation. I think this knife was also made out of a file, because you can see the pattern in there. And there's the letter B on here. I'd like to know where did this stuff come from that there's like letters on it? I don't know. Got a little bit more of semen there, and then some black charred stuff. Here's two cleavers. A shot of two cleavers. Now this one on the left, it looks like a broom handle, maybe. You know what I mean? With some electric tape, and it's just a bigger, meaner, nastier murder weapon. And then that's the one he made for me, right there. Yeah. And that is the end of what I received from him. This one's also got a hole right there, so like you can hang it up in your kitchen, and if there's ever an intruder, you can make quick work of it. All right, so that is pretty much the end. Whoops. I accidentally shut off. All right. Hang it up in your lair. It's like something that you take out to slay a dragon or something. And, well, that's all I've got. Now, that Bud K package is scheduled to come tomorrow. So